Episode 0 of Twisted Tree Prophecies for Fortification. Jesus is using this Jesus TV program, Twisted Tree Prophecies, as a Jesus portkey that opens up my mind and heart to the understanding that because of my unusual earthly mission, it is necessary for Jesus and me to build into my Jesus Greg world certain unusual and seemingly extreme, robust, psychological and spiritual fortifications. Jesus puts it in my heart to understand that I have been called to do something like this blue fish is doing, this swimming fish. Now that is hard to do. Like this blue fish is doing, this swimming fish. Now that is hard to do. That is very awkward to do. It is hard and awkward because look at what all the other good fish are doing. The still small voice seems to say to me, the only way, Greg, that you are going to be able to keep swimming like that blue fish is by building fortifications, reinforcements, like the kind that Jesus is building into your Jesus Greg world. Imagine how hard it would be to do what Rosa Parks did. What if you had to do that every day? I think you would need some form of training, some fortification, some way to comfort your heart. A comforter, maybe a first comforter and a second comforter and a third and a fourth and a fifth and all the way up to 100 comforters. What if you were called to build a literal ark in 2023 like Noah built back in the day? How hard and awkward would that be? You would look like some nutcase, nut job, nutty person. You would look like some nutcase, some nut job, some nutty person, and not in a good way necessarily. You're going to need some kind of fortification if you're going to swim heavily against the ongoing current. Maybe you need a Jesus world. My Jesus Greg world is many things. One of these is an elaborate Jesus fortification that is full of fortifications like this one, meaning this very movie you're watching now. In the movies that are delivered as episodes in this particular television program, you're going to see things that Jesus tells me that comfort me. You're going to see them and hear them. And he gives me these things to help me go on in spite of difficult odds, in spite of difficult circumstances, in spite of rejection of not just enemies, but rejection even by good. In spite of difficult circumstances, in spite of rejection, not just of enemies, but rejection even by good religious people, people who are my friends, people who do not understand or believe that I'm supposed to build an ark approximation, or that I'm supposed to sit in the front of the bus or whatever it is, swimming against the current of what is normal in society is hard to do. The episodes that you will see here going forward are part of a much wider set of fortifications that help me do what it is that I'm doing for Jesus. My Jesus Greg world is a prototype. There'll be people called like I am to do some pretty hard things, and they will need similar virtual worlds within which to reinforce and self-reinforce, to find comfort and to find training to do hard things like Rosa Parks did, like Noah did, like Rosa Parks did, like Nephi did, like Noah did, like Joseph Smith did, like Martin Luther King Jr. did, like Gandhi did, like Mother Teresa did, like Gandhi did, like Mother Teresa did, like the Amish do, and so forth, and so on, and so. My mission is part of the mission of others as well, but I'm supposed to help start the Jesus movement. I'm a forerunner to the Jesus Revolution. Rosa Parks helped start the civil rights movement in the United States in 1955 when she refused to give up her seat to a white man on a Montgomery, Alabama bus. Rosa Parks' actions inspired leaders of black community to organize the Montgomery bus boycott. Dr. Martin Luther King led the Montgomery bus boycott, which lasted more than 1 year. During that time, Rosa Parks lost her job, and the boycott ended only when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional. Rosa became a nationally recognized symbol of dignity and strength in the struggle to end long-established racial segregation of the next century. Jesus has made it pretty clear to me that I'm not going to be famous for like what I'm doing. I'm just going to be a nobody who's going to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul, who rescued me. But on Thursday, December 1st, 1955, the 42-year-old Rosa Parks came home from work at Montgomery Fair department store by bus. 70% of the riders on the typical day were black, and Rosa Parks was one of them. However, it was only right that the bus drivers could ask a black person to give up their seat to a white rider. On this night, at this point of the bus route, a white man had no seats because of all the designated white section was taken. So the bus driver told the rider in the 4 centers of the first row of the colored section to stand and add another row of the white area. The three obeyed, but Rosa Parks didn't. In time, police officers approached the stopped bus, evaluated the situation, and took Rosa Parks into custody. Parks used her one phone call to contact her husband, but word about her arrest spread quickly, and the ED Nixon was there that same afternoon when Rosa Parks was released on bail later that evening. While sitting in Parks' home, Nixon convinced Parks, her mother, and her husband that Rosa Parks was the plaintiff. The black population of Montgomery would boycott the buses on the day of Rosa Parks' trial on Monday, December 5th. On December 5th, Rosa Parks was found guilty of violating segregation laws, given a suspended sentence, and fined $10 plus $4 in court costs. Rosa Parks was called the mother of the civil rights movement. She reinvigorated the racial equality struggle when she called the mother of the civil rights movement. She reinvigorated the racial equality struggle when she refused to give up her bus seat to a white man in Montgomery. Rosa Parks changed the world because of her one action she did. It changed the face of racial equality because she was standing up for her civil rights. Rosa Parks' acts of civil disobedience was not premeditated. And that is the news from 1955. Well, in 2023, here's some news. We're on the verge of what is like unto the civil rights movement, but it will be the Jesus rights movement. It'll be the Jesus movement, the Jesus revolution, and it's going to take some Rosa Parks type actions and Martin Luther King Jr. type actions to get the action started. Many are called, few are chosen.